Hello everyone, Dan of 14th Prime here. Today I want to check out with you guys the Play Arts Kai Marvel Units variant. This is the Black Panther figure. Very cool, vibrant packaging here. Some darker shades, but actually a lot of bright pop there, purple and blue. Got the Panther in a cool shot coming at you. Very nice packaging as always here with PAK. Get on the back here, you've got some panels. Come on, let the hunt begin, it says. Some cool comic panels, blah blah on the same. Black Panther on top. And as usual, you did a little open door. Nice little display window here. Figure, goodies, some more cool artwork. Lots of stuff here I'll take a shot of, and you can pause and read if you like. Okay, so very slick packaging as always with PAK. Let's pop this guy out of the box. Check him out. All right, and here's the Panther out of the box. Looking very, very cool. This PAK style really works for this kind of figure with the suit, the vibranium armor. And of course, PAK's putting their very cool stylization touch on it. And yeah, I think this really looks good. I'll just give you a bit of the museum pose once around. We'll have to go in close for the details because everything's just so dark on the figure. But you can check out the build. Very muscular, athletic type build on Panther here. It's got kind of the movie icons type collar there. So very recognizable, but again with PAK style and twist. Pretty stable figure too, which is good. Some of these Black Panthers have had an issue with kind of like tiny feet and balance, but not this guy. Pretty stable. Nice big claws. Not a lot on the accessory side, which we'll take a look at, but some extra hands, some knives he comes with. We'll show those off in a bit. Check out that backside view. Panther always living on the chin bar. It is cool. I will say the look overall, yeah, you kind of get that Panther suit underneath there, color and texture. Similar probably what you'd notice from, you know, the movie, the Hot Toys figure, but then he's got like the armor on top. That's how they're kind of doing it. So that's the once around, just so you get a feel for the wide angle overall, but let's dive in for these details. Okay, so coming in close here with really bright light to try to check this out. Let's start upstairs with the head sculpt. It's cool in some respects, and others it sort of looks maybe a bit small. You notice it more when you have the whole figure in lens. In frame, that, you know, he seems to be, you know, like 7.5, 7.25 heads tall. You'd look for like more 7 heads tall in terms of the height, the proportion of the overall figure. So when I step back, I think, man, it looks a bit small, but up close here in this lens, I'm sure you don't even notice it. It does look pretty cool, almost a little flat though. When you go like that, I mean, I know he's kind of got a helmet on, but there's something that seems like it's maybe a bit missing in the shape and sculpt, at least for me, from a design perspective. But they poured a ton of detail into it. Just look at all these lining effects through there. Let me just check that out. He's got like a texture, kind of like the what the suit would be here. Then he's got armor going over the top of that. You know, these silver accents, the eyes, and then these blue paint accents versus the silver. Does have the big ears, so that's cool. That stripe comes all the way around back. Some nice highlighting paint kind of on the top of the head. Just trying to show you that there. So it's good. It's massively detailed. It's just something with either shape or scale that makes it not quite perfect for me. So it's not the best part of the figure, but it's not awful. And if we just go in a bit down the figure, the paint scheme reminds me of the Symbiote Spider-Man that they did, where you're looking for like a dark color, black, or in this case, gray, but they're mixing it up with purples and blues, and of course the silver accent, which is very natural for the Panther. But you can just see that all through the figure. You know, this is really kind of like purple, blue lining accents, purple there on the forearms, blue there on the upper arms. Reminds me a lot of how they did Spider-Man. But there's just so much going on, so many different types of textures. Just look at these fine silver lines in the forearms. It's cool because they've got like the suit texture underneath, and then the armor on top, like I've said. That's a cool look. Really works for them in this figure. Jump downstairs here with the torso. Kind of cool armored belt effect going on. And you see more of like the normal suit underneath through the thighs. And you got like the thigh armor on the outside. I think that looks cool. Got big legs like the Panther should. And again, pretty good stability with those feet. Close up here on that profile. Again, there's the head. The arms got some cool like little knives or something they would be on his bicep there that he can get access to. Again, down to that gauntlet and these hands. Got the big pointy claw hands on. We get some extras that we'll take a look at. Check out this lower profile, and I'll just go up. I got the arm up out of the way, so you can see the torso coming down through. Just really cool the way all this detail flows through this suit. And the color you can see on the thighs with the purple and the black and the blue and the silver. It all looks really good. Here on that backside view, and they always give Panther a nice kind of like big muscular back. We'll see how to get the shoulder to tie in nicely to the deltoid. I feel like you have to put his arms really like up like this, and they become wide. When you try to put them more down to the side, it drops the shoulder and you can't really get it back up high. So you get more of this type look, which I guess would mean he has like super monster traps coming down to his shoulder, but actually you just get a big gap there, which doesn't look very good. So I wish they would have tied that together a bit well. You know, he basically just needs a bit more range here, such that when his shoulders are up like this, you can get the arm down. So when you're like this, he's got this wide stance. Otherwise, cruising down the figure, I'm just letting you check it out, really. It's just so much good detail. Kind of almost hard to piece it out and show it to you. I mean, you kind of just have to take it all in. We'll do some pose pics here so you can, but I'm just trying to show you up close some of the cool extra. I guess a nice lining through here in the suit. Very nice. Okay, we'll come back to the figure in a second to show them off full context, but you get some accessories. Let's go through those. So you get these knives here, pretty cool looking. You know, nice detailing across the hilt and everything. Pretty unique design there. They split because you'll see this is how it goes into his hand. So they kind of peg here. It's loose. It's not really like a tight peg. I mean, it's kind of tight enough. You can hold upside down. It's just friction, but you know, that just comes, it doesn't take a lot to really get that to come out. So I'm not loving that. But what is to love about it is when you grab one of these hands, just jump to this. This is kind of a pair of holding hands for the knives, you can see, which look very nice. Kind of interesting. It's still got the claws out and everything. Can't he retract those things? So they could be in, you would think here. But you kind of go from the bottom with the knife, poke it up through like that for the handle, and then you grab the blade piece, poke it down, and then there you go. And that feels really snug actually when you do it like that. And of course that looks really good. So that's an interesting, unique way to get more detail into the knife, into the handle, into the hilt, especially with that wide base, but then still fit it into a hand. So that's cool. He then also gets a couple sheaths for his knives. You get two of these things. Pretty simple, black, a little bit of silver accenting paint just around the edges here. The knives just will rest in there. They don't really clip in. So if you try to have them upside down, it's just going to fall out. So I wish that would stay in more secure, because these go on the back of the figure in these holes here. And this is actually got a mushroom peg on the end. So once you put that in there, I think it's gonna be in there pretty good. And the instructions would lead you to believe it should sort of be on like this, which means, you know, the knife should be able to stay in there, and it doesn't. You start trying to put it in up like this. I mean, okay, but then it's going to stick out the back like that, kind of be in the way. Start to put it like this, maybe better, but it's going to start to interfere with the articulation back and with the waist and stuff. So I don't know what the right way is. Again, instructions seem to say like this, but then you have no chance of actually stowing the knife in there. And I'll see if I can get these on. I've tried to like nudge that in there. I mean, that is like, once that goes in there, I think that's going to be in there, unfortunately. Which you don't know if you always want to keep it in. Look at that. It's a big mushroom peg for a little hole. So be choiceful. I think if you want to have this on the figure, once you snap it on there, you're probably going to be stuck with it unless you just break it off. That's a little bit unfortunate. And there actually it looks like this just sort of broke. I wouldn't say broke, but I'm sure I lost that now. That is probably gone. Okay, shockingly, I found that little peg, so I'll be able to fix that. You get this pair of hands, kind of like a, I don't know, karate chopping sort of look with the hand, with the fingers in. Again, just look a nice detail across the palm. It's like the suit there, the armor on the back of the hand, and of course the long knives on the fingers. So really cool. And then finally get this hand, which is kind of like a middle of open versus closed, so something in between. Looks cool, and he can hold the knife with this too. You don't get that really tight grip like you do with the fist, but he holds that plenty well. I do like that. So we'll do articulation quickly before we get him into some poses, in case those aren't familiar with kind of PAK, but the articulation is always pretty good, right? So he's get like lower neck joint, upper neck joint, a little bit of tilt and twist across all that. So pretty good head range of movement. Shoulders are going to come up like this. You can get them up. I mean, they're just really tight joints. You can get those up like that. Got a bicep swivel here. It's got a nice elbow. Wrist there on basically a ball joint and a hinge. So you can spin it and then just sort of use the hinge where you want. The arm's going to swivel around like this. It's got up and down range. It just tends to open up some gappage there. Waist, super tight, but swivels nicely at the upper there. It's got crunch down there, like so, and it will go back like so. I'm just checking to see. The gappage isn't too bad. Often when you get these guys all the way over, you get some bad gappage. That's better than I've seen on most. I think the armor's a bit longer to cover it. And even when you go back, yeah, the armor's a bit longer and covers any gappage. So that is, I'd say, improved from many other PAK figures I've seen. And you get lower waist there too. So he's literally got torso and lower. So you can waist that way, torso back that way. Starts to look odd, but lots of range of movement. Thighs split out like that. This rubber is going to help you. So make sure it goes the right way for you. There you go. Get the armor under the rubber. Otherwise, it might want to push it in. So boom, splits. Yeah, super thigh swivel there. Breaking this guy in still. The knee, awesome, really good. Yeah, you get a little bit of that right there. And that when you go all the way. And the ankle here, it's kind of like the wrist, you know. You get like this hinge joint. You can kind of spin it and roll it around. He's got a toe as well. So it's kind of all there. You know, it's all there. It's always very good on PAK. Let's check out some poses. So as always with PAK, he comes with a nice dynamic stand as well, which I never get into. I always like the challenge of posing this guy's up and testing the balance, which I think is very good on the figure.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'll never have the sacred stone. Oh, this you crazy mother.
There you have it, guys. The PAK Marvel Universe variant Black Panther. I think a very cool, highly articulated, highly posable, really super detailed figure. About 150 bucks in the States. So always, I think, a bit steep overall, but if you import them yourself, you can tend to pick them up for around 120 delivered to your door. So thanks again for checking in. Hope you liked the video. I'll put some links in the description below if I can find this guy at some good prices. So check those out if you're interested, and I'll see you next time.